Hi, I'm Bill Ferris and welcome to 5-Minute Photo, and this is your nickel tour of Adobe Lightroom's import tool. Let's get started. I already have Adobe Lightroom open on my desktop, and you can see photograph thumbnails displayed here. These are images already in my Lightroom catalog. I want to add some new images to that catalog, and to begin that process we're going to go over here to the lower left and click the import button. This will open a new window. There are no thumbnails displayed here because Lightroom is prompting us to select a source from which to import the photos. Now, this may be an SD card, might be images on an external hard drive. You may have your camera tethered to your computer. I've already built a folder on my desktop titled Test Images. I'll click on that, and you'll see in this folder there are 17 images. I don't want to import all the images, however, and you'll notice that Lightroom's default setting is to check mark all images in a source folder for import once you open it. To deselect these images, I'll go down here and click Uncheck All. The photos I want to import are of the Army Black Hawk helicopter, and here's the first of the 4 and the last of the 4. So I'll just click on the first one, shift click on the fourth. They're all highlighted. Then I'm going to check mark the upper left box in any one of these images. Since they're all highlighted, all the check mark boxes will be activated. We're almost ready to do our import, but not quite there yet, because we want to go over to the right to make sure Lightroom has Build Smart Previews selected. Smart Previews allow you to work on photographs even if you don't have your image archive available. For instance, I archive all my photographs on an external hard drive. I back them up to a second external hard drive. So when I travel with my laptop, I typically don't bring either of those hard drives. Using the Smart Previews, I still have images of each photograph in my library that I can work on if need be. I use the minimal size. A lot of folks go with standard. Some even use the 1:1, but bear in mind that as you use a higher resolution Smart Preview, those file sizes get pretty large. We also want to apply some metadata information during the import. I've created a metadata preset called Copyright 2014, and with this selected, that simply assigns me as the copyright holder of the photos that we're importing. We'll also add keywords to each of the 4 photos. So they're helicopters, so I'm going to start typing okay, you'll see Lightroom is prompting us, asking if the word helicopter, military, is what we want to keyword, and that is. I have a fairly extensive keyword library already built. Whenever Lightroom sees you typing a word and it thinks that word is one in its library, it will prompt you to ask if you want to complete it. It's really handy. It saves a lot of time on keywording. So I'll hit Tab, comma. These are Black Hawk helicopters, Tab, comma. Assigned to the United States Army, Tab, comma. The photographs are taken in Arizona, Tab, comma. In the city of Flagstaff at Northern Arizona University, sometimes abbreviated simply as NAU. So I think we're ready to do the import. I'm going to go down and click the import button. Lightroom displays a status bar indicating progress towards the import. The last thing it will do is build Smart Previews. When it's done with that, it will display a message saying the Smart Previews have been built. We'll click OK. Lightroom leaves us in the folder with these 4 images, and we're ready to start working with them. In fact, Lightroom has now added this folder, Test Images, to its catalog of folders where images in its catalog are known to exist. Before we start editing with the images, though, there's one more bit of information I want to assign to them. I shoot with a Nikon D600. It's a camera body that does not natively assign GPS coordinates to a photograph when you make the photo. So I'm going to use Adobe Lightroom's mapping tool to do that. To get started, we have the first image highlighted. I will shift click on the outer frame of the 4th image. Now all 4 are highlighted. Let's add some textual information, sublocation, Northern Arizona University in the city of Flagstaff, Arizona. You'll notice we're being prompted to complete words in the state of Arizona and the good old US of A. Now we're going to open the mapping tool by clicking on Map. And let's pretend that my last shoot was in good old Paris, France. Gay Paris at the Eiffel Tower. And so that's where Google Earth is depositing us when we click on that map button. But Paris, France is not where we want to assign. These photos have been taken, so we'll just, in the search window, enter Flagstaff and enter. Flagstaff appears. We'll zoom in a wee bit, drag to recenter, zoom in some more. Here's the Sky Dome where the football team plays, and these are the football team's practice fields, which is where these photos were taken. Click on one, drag it up. All four were highlighted, all four come along for the ride, and let go. We have now assigned a GPS location to all four photographs. We can see that over here on the right. We'll get back into our library. Now we're ready to start editing these photographs. So let's summarize what we've done in this short video. We took a look at and used Adobe Lightroom's import tool. To begin the import process, we clicked the import button in the lower left corner. Lightroom then prompted us to select a source where it could find the photos to be imported. We then selected the photos from that folder to be imported. Made sure Lightroom had the Smart Previews activated, so it would make smart previews for every image imported in this process. We then assigned keywords. Once the keywords had been assigned, we clicked the import button. Lightroom displayed progress bars telling us when the import process was complete, and once that was done, we used the mapping tool to assign GPS coordinates to the four photographs we imported, and now here we are ready to do some editing with the images. It took just a few minutes, and I think once you do this a couple of times, you'll find it fairly intuitive, fairly second nature. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm Bill Ferris, and I'll see you next time on 5 Minute Photo.